Okay, so the whole time we've been working so far, we've been solving for the part. But there may be a circumstance where you actually have the base and you have the part, and you're going to try to figure out, well, what's the rate? Or you may have the part, you may have the rate, but you're trying to figure out what the base is. So the textbook gives us kind of a little fun tool here that we could use to figure out. We'll go ahead and put base times rate, base times rate. We'll go ahead and draw a circle here. Let's draw a circle. And then let's put a line right across the middle, the diameter of the circle. And then let's put another line here from the center down to the bottom. And then within that line, we'll put a multiply. So base times rate, that base times rate, and then in the upper half of the circle, let's go ahead and put the P. So let's draw this out. P equals base times rate. And then from here, what we have to do is put our thumb over the missing part. We'll just put our thumb over the missing part. And so pretend this is my thumb. You see this? The eye cursor is my thumb. Let's say I'm going to cover the base. If I want to know what the base is, let's cover the base. And what's left? Let's pretend you can't see. I've covered this up. What's left? P over R. So if I want to solve for the B, because I don't know what the base is, I simply just B divided by R. Okay? So B is equal to P divided by R. See that? B is equal to B. Let's pretend, well, for now, I guess when we'll get to it, if we want to cover up the R, let's pretend the R is not there. We don't know what the R is. So the way we solve for the R is P divided by B. See, so this little circle here helps us so that we don't have to memorize anything or even solve. We could just put these numbers in and it should help us solve. So right now, let's focus on the base. What is the base? The base is equal to the P divided by R, the part divided by rate. So from here, it should be pretty straightforward. Solve for the base using the following. B equals P divided by R. 8 is 4% of. 8 is 4% of what? Of what? Well, we're looking for the base. We're looking for the base. If 8 is 4% of what, usually we have the result is 8%, or 8 is the result, that's the part. But in this case, it's not. It's 8 is 8% of what? What is the base? So 8 is the part, 4% is the rate. So the solution, 8 divided by 4%, or 0.04. If we run those numbers, we'll get the result of 200. Really, the hardest part of the problem is when you're trying to solve a problem, you have to read the problem and understand what you're looking for, whether it's the base, the part, or the rate. Once you figure that out, it's academic. It's pretty easy to go through the formulas and figure out what you need. All right, so here is finding sales when sales tax is given. So let's say, for example, somebody gave you the sales tax. You know what the sales tax rate, well, what was the base? What was the amount of the sale or the retail amount? Well, let's go back. We'll go back here and say, okay, the formula to find the base is B equals P divided by R. P divided by R, the part divided by the rate. Part divided by 8. The part is 780 because that's the sales tax amount. And the rate is 0.05. So B equals P divided by R. P is 780 divided by 0.05. If we run those numbers, B is equal to 15,600. See if that makes sense, because the part should be smaller than the base, right? So if the total sales were 15,600 and we're looking at 5% of it, then that does make sense. It ends up being 780. So the total sales, the base, is equal to 15,600. Roberta Gonzalez receives $162.50 in interest from an investment that paid 1.25%. So $162.50 is the part. The rate, 1.25%. We know the formula. B is equal to P divided by R. P is the part, 162.5. R is the rate, 1.25%. But to convert this to a decimal, we have to slide to the left 2 times. boop, boop. So that's going to be 0.0125. 12.0125. So 162.5 divided by 0.0125 gives us 13,000. So in other words, she must have had $13,000 invested in this account in earning 1.25% in order to generate $162.50. We solved for the unknown. The unknown was how much did she have in the account. That's section 3.3.